We are live from the town of Oyster Bay Ice Skating Center. This is Nassau County Hockey on News 12 Varsity. And today it's the Plainedge Red Devils as they meet the Valley Stream Eagles in their second of two meetings in the regular season. Hi again, everybody. Dan Savarino, Dylan Butler, Josh Grebsky. Thanks so much for joining us this evening for some Nassau County Liberty Division hockey. Plainedge will go from left to right wearing the red uniforms, tops and bottoms. It'll be Valley Stream in the whites. Sticks down, puck down underway. We got Mount Vulpes in goal to our right, number 29, who has played almost every game this season. And in goal to our left, Chris Capozzi, a Kellenberg High School.
Yeah, Dan, this one's got a bit of a playoff feel to it, doesn't it, huh? Pomp and circumstance before. The new town supervisor, Joe Salanino, addressing the crowd, dropping a ceremonial first puck. How great is that?
Yeah, the two captains, Jamie Dominique out of Valley Stream, and then Chris Yonkers. I don't think they've ever done a ceremonial puck drop before. So they're trying to watch what they've seen from the pros so many times. Here's a shot from the point. That whistle's wide left. Well, what is on the line today? And guess what? There's a good amount. As Ben Donskoy will chip it ahead and go hustling down the other way. No icing. You got Plainedge, who has 2 games left on the season, including tonight's. They win out, they're in the postseason. Top 4 make it. If they lose one of the 2, they also need some help from their friends over at Friends Academy, who is actually playing Rockville Center tomorrow night. Rockville Center would end up taking that final spot. Valley Stream was eliminated Sunday night after Syosset ended up losing their game. So the undefeated team is no more, and now every team in the entire division has at least a loss. So this is a lot of the line right now for Plainedge. They know they really need to win out. Valley Stream, they're not going to go down easy.
Oh, no. Look, first varsity season. What a great story it is for this newly minted varsity program. And look, they can play spoilers here tonight. So in a way, it's also a taste of playoff-type intensity for them.
Both teams in their 3rd seasons as a program since really a rebirth. Plainedge, their head coach, Pat Cleary, again, 3rd-year head coach. They have a middle school team. They have a varsity team. Do not have a JV team as of right now. Of course, enrollment is always the tough part, especially in this kind of non-school sponsored division, but it's still town-sponsored. On the other side, Valley Stream, well, we'll tell this story throughout the course of the night, but it's actually the captain, Jamie Dominique, who almost started the team, telling his dad, listen, I want to play for my school. I want to be, representing Valley Stream and play hockey. And that's kind of how it got started 3 years ago.
Yeah, his dad, there's obviously the connections, too, with a Plainedge alum himself. So plenty of synergies between these two Liberty Division programs.
Yeah, Rick Dominique graduating in 1986. Playing the alumni game just a couple of weeks ago, and mostly to try and see what the talent is on the ice and do some scouting instead of actually playing in the game. Shorter bench to our right. Not a lot of guys dressed tonight for Valley Stream. Some guys couldn't make it due to other commitments. But you know anything about Plainedge and what they like to do, they're going to try and run 3-4 lines and keep wearing you down as much as they possibly can. Quick line changes. Here they stay on side. It's Nick Rhea. Couldn't have a handle on the puck. Averts one check and tries to push it ahead. Yeah. Donskoy comes away with the rubber.
We're going to see a lot of the Liberty Division in the coming weeks here on News 12 Varsity, of course, with a huge first-place showdown.
Here's Chris Yonkers with a big drive. Number 97, the captain, as the puck goes into the bench. But Yonkers, leading scorer over the last couple of seasons. A Plainedge guy, goes to Plainedge High School, 20 goals on the year, 28 points overall. And he's always in the conversation and is once again for the league MVP.
Yeah, when we last saw him, he was a sophomore. We had a broadcast of one of their games, and what an outstanding talent he is.
Blake Rothstein on the draw. They'll end up winning it as Yonkers moves ahead and comes away with the biscuit. He gets so much attention around him. Goes between the legs of one of the defenders, that's Saraceno, as it plays along the glass, and pinching it is Dakota Jones. They only run 4 in the back, only have 4 defensemen, and guess what? Every defenseman is a converted guy for Plainedge. Rothstein gets picked off right at the blue line, then gets the puck back, now with some room. Here's Rothstein to the left dot, shoots, and It stays out. Vulpes made the save. It sat in the blue paint and was cleared. So less than 5 minutes into this game, Rossi might have had the best opportunity.
Oh, it certainly was, Dan. The puck just sat right on the goal line before it was cleared. Inches away from the game's first goal.
A face-off win from Nertney. He scored one of the 3 goals in the first meeting between these two teams. It was Plainedge who got on the board first, a 1-0 lead after 1. That was a goal from Connolly. And then Losing, Nertney, and Latin with the empty net tally gave him a 3-1 victory back on December 1st. To the far side of the ice, Marcus tries to spin away a check. Good play by Losing. Far side, Nertney, low shot, and goes right through the paint. Saracini up the middle, turned it over, and back to Nick Casalo, whose brother wears number 91, and his dad is one of the assistant coaches. Here's a good chance, low shot, and Connolly, after picking off the pass, was trying to go 5-hole, just missed.
Yeah, Vulpes did a great job getting his pad on it and just directing it to his right and out of trouble.
Vulpes out of Valley Stream North, real solid goaltender. Played travel until he's about 14, and then really came back. One of the original 8, as we'll call them, in the rebirth of the Valley Stream program, which had success back in the 90s as well. In the same Nassau County Hockey League, and Rick Dominique remembering his days playing at Plainedge back when it was at the old hangar by Mitchell Fields.
Yeah.
Not the best rink you're gonna see.
Not like the town of Oyster Bay, that's for sure.
That shot goes wide left. Cannavois, one of the 2 captains for this group. Saracino couldn't clear it out, kept in by Connolly. Goal line extended, just chipping one towards the cage was Goodman, and a whistle will come.
But this one of 2 Liberty Division games we have in the next few days. Of course, the first place showdown between the Ice Falcons of Levittown and the Braves of Syosset next Monday at Kaniag Ice Rink. You'll be on the call for that one.
May not be a lot on the line because those will probably be the top 2 seeds.
Well,
But
they did tie the first game, so I think, there's maybe a little something going into the playoffs, right, if you can get that win over your opponent.
yeah, plenty of pride. And talking to Pat Cleary, he thinks Syosset might be the top team around. As another whistle will come just to the left of the paint. Thinks it might be the top team around. They kind of do the same thing that Plainedge tries to do, of steamrolling with all their lines and keeping everyone fresh and trying wearing down their opponent. But they have so much depth behind them as well. Face off at the left dot. Good win by Rothstein. Tries to get it to Yonkers. It's popped loose. Dakota Jones couldn't hold at the line. And now it's almost cherry picking was Donskoy as he was out in the neutral zone. Meanwhile, here comes the freshman, and Rothstein gains the blue line, tries to weave through a couple of defenders. It's loose on the top of the left circle, and they'll chip it down. Blake, the only freshman to make the team, and he really has some good hands, as we have seen a couple of times already.
Yeah, really good speed as well, good at the face-off dot. All really, really important aspects of the game you'd want, and so impressive in that, as you mentioned, he is just a freshman.
Yeah, it's such a good top line as well. The top 2 lines are really their scoring lines, as most are, but with La Rosa on the wing along with Rothstein and Yonkers, that's just dangerous. Castagnola, another one of those original players, to another original guy. And Saracino, as the blue liner tries to chip it down deep. No icing coming up, so Cannavos has to play. Dominique loses a handle, back out to the neutral zone one more time, where it's settled down by McPherson and moved D to D. Angled off the boards right on their own bench, but right onto the twig of Cannavos, the 3rd-year varsity player. They ring it around the boards from left to right. Flagging it down first is Nick Rhea, the junior. Rhea, a 2nd-year varsity guy who can play all 3 forward positions. McPherson goes flying up the right wing. A travel player for the Long Beach Lightning. McPherson shoots! and it trickles in. Capozzi hasn't seen a lot of rubber today. And in the first period, it's Valley Stream that gets on the board by just throwing something at the net.
Yeah, McPherson, a terrific shot, high shot as well, and the Valley Stream North senior pots his third goal of the year.
So at 8:16, give him the first goal of the game. And I don't know if it was the first or second shot, Dylan. Not sure if we're going to count one of those shots that kind of missed right through. But Capozzi, again, really hasn't seen much so far. Rothstein said, I'm just going to throw it on net. Actually, McPherson said he was going to throw it on net. He was Nertney. And that's a stop, the first one made today by Capozzi.
No, you're 100% right. And if it was the second shot, it certainly was the most dangerous shot that they've put on target. And look, sometimes, right, that's the part of the game you always hear about as another shot gets in, glove save, and just get it on net, right? You hear that in every level of hockey. Just put the puck on net, and good things can happen.
For the majority of this period, the puck was in the other end of the ice. Face-off win up through center. Connolly. A burst of speed, popped loose, now on the far side. Petrofori, who has 9 points on the season. Centered in front, nobody there. Big drive from the point, and Jones misses wide right. Still Garner, tapping at it in the middle of the ice was Petrofori. To right point, Viteri, and misses wide. Another third-year varsity guy who had to learn to play on the blue line, a natural forward. Petrofori, back to the point. Viteri's low clapper, and it doesn't reach the net. So now trailing by a goal. Seems just more shots are coming on Cage at this point. Let's see if they can test. Stick save redirected to the far corner by Vulpes. Garnered once again. Good line here and a really good shift by Plainedge. But popped loose. Here's Donskoy, the team's leading goal scorer. Donskoy gets taken down, but no call. Looks like he might have tripped up for his own feet.
Yeah, I think he just blew a tire there, and tough situation for Donskoy because he had the clear breakaway. Great job, too, pressuring the point on that play, blocking the shot, and then it was off to the races.
A two-line pass, couldn't find Rothstein's stick. Nisley tries to bang it off the boards. Not out, though. Flags it down in the far corner. Surveys the ice, tries to chip it ahead, and Yonkers will steal it. It's Chris Yonkers, one of the co-captains for this group, and nicely played by Nicely as he rubbed them out of the play. Puck hits the linesman, sits on the blue paint, now poked in as Rothstein got his stick on the puck. Kept in right at left point by Cruz. Rothstein from the high slot, goes to the right dots. Has some space, cuts in, shoots, save by Vulpes. Second chance, that misses wide from Yonkers. The backhander doesn't get cleared, still sits over there. It was Losing who couldn't get it all, and now it'll be sent down the length of the ice, but it will be an icing upcoming.
And that whole sequence of opportunity there for Plainedge, which saw that good shot on target by Rothstein, was really set up by the play by Cruz from the left point, just saving the puck, kicking it back in at the blue line. Dan, if he misses that puck or if a Valley Stream player gets to it, that is an odd man break the other way.
Face off at the left circle, and it's won by Joy. Joy is actually the backup goalkeeper for Plainedge Soccer. So we have seen him at points this season. A couple of these guys play multiple sports. We have seen on News 12 Varsity. Good outlet pass as Saraceno, the junior, gets sandwiched by a couple of different Plainedge Red Devils. And a quick little shot from Donskoy on Cage is stopped by Capozzi. Well, Capozzi comes out of the player pool, as many of these guys do end up coming out of. If you don't know with this division, and really with this league, if your team doesn't have, and your school doesn't have that kind of spot, you can get selected and put yourself into basically a draft. And that is exactly what they did. They needed a goalie because they knew Koshko wasn't going to be 100% with a hip injury. who split some time last year as one of their netminders. And now they have their starting guy as a redirection misses right over his arm. Skating over Dakota Jones, the second-year varsity player. Has some speed as he gains the blue line. Tries to twist his way in, still controlled and now lost. As he just overskated the puck and it was sitting there. Joy. Hard battle into the corner with Casalo. Whips it around the other way. Dominique moving it ahead. Donskoy now. Donskoy, the low shot. And he tried to go right 5-hole. And this time staying with it was Capozzi. Connolly, very reliable forward. Top of the left circle, and he just lost the puck. Could be an odd man rush. They get it to him. Here's Losing on a breakaway. Losing, 5-hole stop by Capozzi. And that was a big one. Petrifieri moving down deep. Has some extra space. He tries to flag down the puck on the far side. Gets bumped into the boards. Puck hops around a couple of times in that far circle. Batted down by Connolly with his hand. Now controlled. Cross-ice pass. Trying to get it to Petrifieri, but he couldn't settle down a bouncing puck. Up ahead on the left wing. McPherson, the lone goal scorer today. McPherson wrapping around the net. Chips it behind the cage. Here's Nertney. Quicker to the puck was Cruz. And the defenseman will just skate ahead to La Rosa. The pass goes behind Yonkers, so all he can do is touch it and stay onside. Not cleared out. Canavos. Now Rothstein with some space. Pulls the string, scores! We're tied up at 1 goal apiece.
That was a great job by Rothstein, skating into open space right between the circles, and Blake nets his 10th goal of the year. And what a great time to do so. 1:10 left in the first period. He ties it up for the Red Devils.
So the clear was kept in by Canavos, who was also an anchor of the Plainedge Red Devil lacrosse D. Well, he anchors this D nicely, keeping the puck in play. And then Rothstein using that great wrist shot he has as he had some space, tying this game up at 1 goal apiece with 1:10 remaining in the first frame.
And you could see that hockey IQ, right? Knowing where to go on the ice and finding that perfect spot to get a higher percentage shot on frame.
And deciding to go low. He's been going high most of the time.
We will let our audience know, Dan, between periods during that short break, you will have an opportunity to hear from the new town of Oyster Bay supervisor, Joe Salandino. He will join you. I'm letting you know, actually, right now. he will join you. He'll take my headset, and he will have a quick conversation with you. Of course, a former high school and college hockey player as well. So this is a game that's very close to his heart.
So that will be coming up in a couple of moments, as there's 10 seconds remaining in this first period, which I guess you can say has been really maybe 80-90% Plainedge. Yet it's a 1-1 game as Vulpes makes one more stop with 9/10 of a second remaining here in the first frame.
Now, Dan, I'm always the guy, whenever there's a face-off with like less than 3 seconds left, I'm always about pulling the goalie, getting the best chance. I mean, it is only 0.9 seconds, but certainly you're not going to be able to score down the length of the ice.
Face-off won by Valley Stream, and the Eagles, who got on the board first, will end up ending the first period with a 1-1 tie. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to the new town supervisor in just a couple of moments. It's an interview with Joe Salandino, and it's next on News 12 Varsity. Welcome back to News 12 Varsity. 1-1 is the score. Nassau County hockey between Plainedge and Valley Stream. I have the pleasure to be joined by the new town supervisor, Joe Salanino. And Mr. Salanino, first of all, thank you so much for being here. I know you are a hockey guy by nature. What does it mean to you to see just the high school aspect of this and see a league like this continue to grow in Nassau?
It's so exciting. You know, I played high school hockey at Massapequa High School. I played in college in the Long Island Industrial League, so I know what's the anticipation, the excitement going through the veins of every player out there, the parents watching right here in Bethpage at the Town of Oyster Bay Rink, and quite frankly, those folks watching this at home on your great broadcast. It's an exciting time. It has playoff implications for Plainedge. Everybody's at the edge of their seat. And the game has really moved well. There's been so much pressure in the Valley Stream end of the ice. Both goalies, by the way, I think are doing a fabulous job. Severino just brought the puck down and had that shot that was the first score of the game, set the tone. And then Blake Rothstein came back with that blistering shot to tie it up. This is the excitement of live hockey, and nobody does it better than MSG.
And I know, of course, with Long Island, and we've spoken so much about it on our shows and whatnot, just the game and how it's developed. I mean, you're a local guy by nature. You understand the importance of high school sports. How do you see just really, and how nice is it to see that the growth of these guys coming out of the island and now getting themselves a chance to play in the pros or, you know, have the high-level junior experience like winning gold for USA recently?
Quite frankly, it is very important. Youth hockey is an important part of Long Island's culture and the excitement of Long Island, and nobody does it better than here in the town of Oyster Bay to bring that hockey and bring these opportunities for sportsmanship, competition, all the skills. It's so wonderful to have live high school hockey right here in town.
Well, Mr. Saladino, it's a pleasure to have you on, and thanks so much for joining us today. And I don't know who you're going to be rooting for, because I know you're a Massapequa guy. So can you root for Plainedge?
Absolutely. Of the two teams, Plainedge is the town of Oyster Bay team. But I hope both teams do well, get a lot of excitement in this. But let's go Red Devils.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saladino.
Thank you.
So 1-1 the score, a couple of good chances already for Plainedge.
Hey, I got to remind him, there's no cheering in the press box. What is he doing here?
Get her credential revoked. So there are a couple of good chances, and Vulpes so far is kind of standing on his head in a way. I mean, some pucks have spilled out, but just the intense pressure. Here's another chance, and it's redirected in front. Drive from the point from Jones, and that got deflected again. They're getting pucks to the net, and many of them have had eyes.
Yeah, you really get the sense that, you know, they certainly understand the situation they're in, the Red Devils, and how important this game is, and it is very much an elimination game.
And for many of these guys, they're looking to try and continue on. Obviously, you have one more game at the end of this all, but you're still going to give it your all. And for many of these Valley Stream players, some of the seniors, this could end up being their last competitive hockey game until they start playing men's leagues at midnight and getting home at 2 in the morning. They know it means a lot to be here and what it is. They want to put on a show. They were hoping that everything would work out on Sunday. They pretty much did their part. But the other teams that they were hoping would did not do their part, which would have most likely allowed them to have almost a win and still keep those hopes alive for the Eagles. As now the intensity starting to pick up some good checks here. And a whistle comes. It's going to be an offside. Face-off will come back out to the neutral zone.
So great to have the new town of Oyster Bay Supervisor Joe Saladino. And hey, look, he's a hockey guy, huh? That's always great to know someone has got the sports back like that.
And that's what it's all about. Especially the rise of Long Island hockey, as we speak about so many different times.
I was getting worried because his analysis of the first period was spot on. I didn't know if you needed me back.
I was going to keep him around. Here's Rothstein. Down the left wing. Gets a step. And then loses the puck. Good defensive play on the other end by number 32, McPherson, who we have said his name countless times today.
And Vulpes again with the save, and he's a guy, you know, he's a senior, and he'll be part right? It's always so special. One part of that first varsity program, and he's one of those original guys you mentioned, the original 8, and played travel until he was 14, and he just made such a huge improvement from his first JV to his second JV year. And, you know, this is pretty much it for him as well, at least high school hockey.
Nearly very dangerous play on the other end of the ice from the opposing netminder in Capozzi. Luckily for him, score stays at 1-1. Played along the boards, down the left wing. Yonkers. Here comes Chris. Has the rubber, circles around the net, looking for one of his trailers, but he's going to throw it on cage instead. Rothstein was standing at the top of the paint, and a whistle will come with a Vulpes save. So face-off will come at the right circle.
This is always the fun time of year, right, Dan? I mean, as the calendar turns to February in high school hockey is when the big important games are played. Certainly February into March, but it usually starts with February. Already we've seen in Suffolk County the start of their quarterfinals. We saw 2 of them last night, Ward Melville and Kings Park Comac advancing to the semifinals. The other 2 quarterfinals being played tonight. As is the case here in Nassau County, of course, we'll have the Suffolk County finals, games 2, and if necessary, a game 3, live on News 12 Varsity. Same here, the Liberty and the Michelino Division Championships.
And that game 2 is so important because, again, if not, we go to a third game if it ends up being tied up.
And if we've learned anything from the last couple of years of broadcasting those games, those are some of the most thrilling, never mind just hockey, right? Some of the most thrilling high school athletic events of the season.
I still couldn't imagine what it would have been like for Belmore Merrick if they would have lost game 2 in overtime and then had to play a mini game afterwards to try and decide a championship. Even Chris Patton said to me, good chance in front, Dominique just fanning on the attempt. But even he has said it to me, I don't know. I don't think we would have actually won that game. I don't think we would have won the mini game. That kind of, it was that or nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what it brings to you. Rockville Center, the champs last year in their first championship in their program's history.
And those games will be right here at the beautiful town of Oyster Bay Ice Skating Center.
Sent down in, Petrofori. Circles around. Tries to cross it in front and got tangled up into the skates of Casalo. Casalo, another roller skating guy. So many of these guys from Valley Stream are roller hockey players. The adjustment to the ice has been fairly smooth. Cleared back out, and a nice one by Dominique.
Yeah, in so many areas, Dan, and it was the case for me growing up in Sunnyside, Queens. It was all about roller hockey, and you didn't have as much opportunity to get on the ice. These guys, slap shot, nice save by Vulpes. They've got so many more opportunities to find ice time, and it does. You make that transition from roller to the ice.
Sent around to the near half wall. Moving up into the play. Castanola tries to clear. Couldn't get it all the way out. Connolly weaves in, loses the biscuit. Taken back, 2-on-2 the other way if they hurry. Here's Basili, the sophomore, gains the blue line. A big drive, and it got stopped right in the skates of Kevin Cruz.
And again, Cruz sacrificing his body to make an important play for his team.
Petrofury, he's got some room to skate ahead. It's a center towards the slot, couldn't find a man, but kept in a right point by Canavas. Last time he did that, they scored a goal. Connolly circles around the net, has some space, shoots, glove stop, but the second effort goes. Vulpes just couldn't control the low wrister. It's a 2-1 lead for Plainedge, their first today.
Yeah, you can't say this wasn't coming for Plainedge, and just a great second effort from Connolly, where he knocks in the rebound of his own shot, and the Red Devils have been buzzing, and finally with 7:45, just about midway through this second period, they take the 2-1 lead.
So Dylan, as I said, Canavas, last time he kept the puck in at the point like that, they scored a goal. Guess what happened this time?
Sounds like you're trying to be the coach.
I don't want to take Pat Cleary's job. Tell them put me on as an assistant if they need me. I'll be the eyes from above.
You can be a scout.
Well, speaking of scouts, we'll get to that in a second. Good backhand chance as McPherson tries to move it over. Speaking of scouts, Jamie Dominique, who is again the coach's son, he is the captain of this team, and nominated as the captain of the team by the players, not the coaches. He actually has aspirations to maybe look into sports analytics going forward. Well, he's a pretty good recruiter as well, because him and others were able to start this team just because he wanted to play for his high school. Here's Yonkers. And he hasn't been able to get any good shots off. They've done a pretty nice job on at least containing him and his chances. Here's Dominique up the middle of the sheet. Dominique, low shot, kick save by Capozzi. Hard slapper down in.
Nice pressure.
That's Donskoy, who goes to Woodmere, not too far away from Valley Stream. And Volpus will make a save on a shot that came all the way out in the neutral zone. So 6:37 to play here in the middle frame, and now a 2-1 lead for the Plainedge Red Devils. But Dylan, as we were just saying, of course, with Valley Stream, you know, they want to start a program up again. On the other side, it's kind of the same exact thing. I mean, these were two teams that decades ago had solid groups in the Nassau County Hockey League, and now it's all about getting the numbers back, getting those guys back, getting the funding. Not an easy job, but it's worked.
For sure, and look, you've got guys, you know, who remember that, right? I mean, a lot of the guys on the ice now, maybe some of their parents played back in the heyday in the 70s of Valley Stream hockey, and look, it's so important to bring it back. Only one group could be the first who does so, and you know, it's not like they've struggled this year. You know, they've had their share of success. It's been a tremendous story in their first season on the varsity side of things in Liberty Division.
Back out to center ice.
I mean, the fact that, Dan, they can get right down to one of the last few games of the season and still have been battling for a playoff spot, I think it speaks volumes. And you've got so many young guys, too, right, on this team.
Yeah, 2 first-year varsity programs for the first time in forever. As an offside will be called to the displeasure of the Red Devils. But again, two teams are very similar in that aspect. You know, they have guys who have been here a couple of years, and they're all about building the future, too. I mean, they really could have, if they wanted to, just kind of said, all right, we're going to go all out just for this one. Let's see if we can get some travel guys to come on here and go that route. But they're trying to build it up from the middle school all the way up. And that's the only way you can kind of build a program. We've seen it with many of them. Long Beach, Belmore Merrick in recent years, Syosset. Rockville Center still has a young, new program in a way, but they won a championship last year. So, you know, it's very different, and this is not an easy league by any means to be able to coach in and to be able to develop a program. Along the boards, Dominique down the right wing. Stick checks and taken out of the play is Cruz with a good check as he bodied him up. Shot from the top of the left slot. A couple of bounces on the way from Ben Casalo.
Yeah, that one had eyes.
Trying to keep is Basili. Eventually it's cleared out the other way. Casalo, the youngster, who is just a freshman, still learning his way. Played on the middle school team last year for this group. He throws a check, taking Connolly out of the play.
Yeah, he had no problem with the physicality there. He's adjusted well on that part of varsity hockey.
And Nertney, who's almost the motivator of this group, yelling out on the bench, "That a boy!" Someone loses a mitt.
And a stick. And we'll have an interference penalty. First power play for either team. 4:42 left in the second period.
So we'll see who goes to the box.
It'll be Canavas.
I thought the penalty was on Valley Stream, considering he was the one who actually lost his stick. But anyway, it's going to be Canavas in the sin bin. Interference.
So first power play opportunity for either team. Oh, nearly a great chance.
So an important one here for Valley Stream to possibly get back, tie up this game, maybe create some intensity on the other end of the ice.
Yeah, and I would expect Plainedge to be aggressive here on this forecheck as well.
That's exactly what we're seeing. Nertney. Stick handles down low. Dakota Jones will come away with the rubber behind the net and send it down the sheet of the ice. Castagnola back in his own end. Looks for the outlet pass to Nicely. And Yonkers causes a turnover, and now we'll have the biscuit back out in the center of the ice.
Yeah, that's the guy you want, I think, on your penalty kill. Similar to what the Islanders, I think, are doing now under Doug Waite, where they've got Tavares out on the PK. You want to have Yonkers out there.
Here's Connolly. Connolly moving in. And a stop by Volpis. The fact that he was able to control that puck down the left wing, that was impressive. Hard slapper off the glass. 40 seconds remaining in this man advantage.
And it's been all Plainedge thus far in this advantage, or disadvantage for them, but in the man advantage for Valley Stream.
Some trouble with zone entries here. The pass up the middle of the sheet. Saraceno rings it around the boards. Donskoy, first one to it. Tries to garner the puck against Jesse Viteri. Popped loose, kept in by Castagnola, who was at left point. Played off the boards right at the Valley Stream bench. 2 seconds, one, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Cronin comes off the bench. Tries to fight for the puck. Sent all the way down. This will be an icing, so the face-off will be back in Valley Stream territory. 2:31 to play here in the middle frame. A 2-1 lead by Plainedge, and it was a goal from Connolly that gave them the lead.
Yeah, you mentioned Connolly. He's a junior, but it's like he's almost a super senior because it's his third year on the varsity, and it's such brings so much experience and leadership to this Plainedge team.
8 goals, 16 points. For a team that is starting to score a lot more lately. It was a game against Syosset that they did lose that kind of started to get things back on track here for the Red Devils. Then since then, tough game against Rockville Center. They lost to them as well, but an 8-5 win against Friends in their last game. Before that, a 7-7 game against Levittown, and the goals have just been piling on, and at the right time to do it. If you can continue to keep scoring at this point of the season, sneak your way into the playoffs, look out.
And that's all they're trying to do now, just be one of those teams that we hear the phrase all the time, right? Who survives and advances.
McPherson just kept in at the point by Casalo. That was pretty close to being offsides.
It was also a bit of a dangerous shot, too. It was like almost like a changeup from the point.
Face off at the right circle. Nertney, he wins it. Tries to weave his way in towards the goal line, looking for a centering pass. Rothstein read that the entire way. Here comes Blake. He scored the first Plainedge goal today. A 3-on-1. Cross-ice pass. Yonkers off the bar! And LaRosa couldn't cash in on the rebound. Losing, centering pass. Dominique moving up into the play. Cruz will try and skate it ahead. Gets it over to LaRosa, now center ice, as Rothstein will skate. A 2-on-1 if they hurry. Valley Stream gets their numbers back. Good stick handling.
Yeah, so smart from Rothstein. It was the right play to make. Canavos unable to corral it at the blue line, but that's hockey IQ, Dan, where he just as the puck is hit with a high stick, and it'll lead to the whistle with 51 seconds left in the second period. But, you know, look, he's a freshman, right? So you think maybe, oh, he'll try to take a few guys on, and what did he do, right? He peeled back, went for the smart play. That was hockey IQ there for such a young player.
So the face-off will come all the way back to the Plainedge zone due to the high stick. Face-off won by the Red Devils. Connolly to win it at the right dot. Batted back out with a mitt towards center ice and regrouped by Nicely. The junior defenseman, Connolly the other way. He's a good stick handler. You always have to look out when the puck is near his twig. Dominique, who started as a D-man, really a defensive-minded forward. This will be an icing, though, and the face-off will come back to Valley Stream Real Estate.
It's a good opportunity here for Plainedge to maybe tack on to their lead. As you mentioned before, second with a regular season matchup, only a 3-1 game.
Shot from the point, got blocked. Viteri will flag it down back in the middle of the ice. Yet it's the Valley Stream captain to come away. 15 seconds on the game clock. Moves in, and a good stick check by Viteri as Dominique couldn't pull the string in time. 7 seconds to go here in the second. Offside. So 1.5 was late face-offs late in the period, back-to-back. Been 9/10 of a second before. And that's going to end the second period. So, Plainedge with 2 unanswered goals. And they scored the lone goal in the middle frame. They now have a 2-1 lead in a very important game for them. We'll be back with more. Third period upcoming. It's Nassau County Hockey only on News 12 Varsity. Back on News 12 Varsity as we get set to begin the third period of action. It's Nassau County Liberty Division Hockey, only on News 12 Varsity, as Plainedge has a 2-1 lead over Valley Stream. Dan Severino, Dylan Butler, Josh Drebsky, thanks so much for joining us. Matt Volpus in goal to our right for the Eagles. To our left for the Red Devils, it's Chris Capozzi, the junior. Bring it down to center ice. Connolly will take the face-off with McPherson. 2 goal scorers in today's game. We're underway for the third period with a fresh 15 minutes on the clock.
What a third goal. What that would mean for Plainedge right now.
Again, a win doesn't solidify themselves as a playoff team, but they need a win to stay in this hunt.
Yeah, I was going to say a win doesn't necessarily clear up the picture. A loss certainly does.
If you look at the standings as of right now, almost everyone has their schedule complete, at least in the Liberty Division. And we'll have a couple of games next week, but not too many. Syosset, 11-1-1, 23 points. Levittown right behind them at 23 points. But Scio ends up having that advantage in the tiebreaker. Behind them, again, top 4 make the playoffs. Friends Academy with 16 points. Rockville Center, Malvern, 13. Then Plainedge with 11. Plainedge, this is their game in hand. Rockville Center plays Friends Academy tomorrow night.
Oh.
Another good chance.
Yeah, Connolly a backhand in front.
Yonkers! Wow, what a hard shot. Volpus couldn't even see it. Kind of got screened on that play as well. Yonkers, again, has rung one off the post.
And another save, Volpus, who corrals the rebound. I think on that first shot, Dan, that you were mentioning, that I think he just heard it hit his pad. He certainly didn't see it. And he was looking for it, and then he felt that thump off his pad.
Well, so far, 97 has been held off the goal sheet, which is so rare. But he has had his chances. Sent down deep. Rothstein does have a goal. Cuts towards the middle of the slot, has some space, passes it down low to Yonkers, but it hopped over his twig.
And that was a similar situation when Rothstein scored the goal. This time he gave it up, though, to Yonkers. Yonkers tries to pivot.
Tries to weave his way past Donskoy. Puck goes back out to the neutral zone in their own end, and Yonkers will have the rubber. Here he comes, number 97. Good poke check. Castanola. They've done a fine job on Yonkers thus far tonight. I know I sound like a broken record, but for guys his caliber, to be stopped a couple of times by Vulpes, and he's had his chances, believe me, they've been working him well to the outside. Another wrist shot, this time he shoots high, and he's a little frustrated, I think, as well.
Yeah, he's also a little bit tired. He's going to come off for a change. He's actually holding his left hand. His glove is off by the center ice circle. Not sure if it took a slash or...
Penalty will be upcoming, and it will be against Valley Stream. So Plainedge will be heading to their very first power play of the game. And let's see if Chris Yonkers can come out and be a part of it.
It's a hook. And Castagnola. About to help him out get in the box here. And there is Yonkers coming out. Conversation there about to change. Valley Stream bench thinking it was too late.
Now you had the better audio on that one. As another stick check, and they're going to shadow 97 the entire time. It'll be Nertney to seem to be doing so.
And now, of course, with one less player on the ice, that means someone else will be open, though.
Nertney clears it all the way down, so that will kill off some time. Minute 30 remaining on this power play for Plainedge. This could be a pivotal goal for them.
Oh, yeah.
Goodman. The speedy forward, moving in down behind the net. South of the cage, gets the puck back. Trying to work out to Vatiri, who was pinching in. Connolly behind the cage now himself. Here comes Connolly. Gets some space. Shoots, and the blocker stop. Pops high and over the net.
How great has Vulpes been, huh?
Casalo will clear it down under a minute remaining in this power play. You're right, Dylan. I mean, he has come up with some timely saves. Some of them he hasn't seen, but he's still been there holding on to the puck. Yonkers has space to the backhand, and Rothstein scores.
Yeah, Yonkers sacrificed the body on that. He went to the dirty area in front and was hammered, but Rothstein got the puck and was able to get the backhand in for the power play goal.
Yeah, it was a man coming across trying to take him out of the play, as they would in that situation. Just got into each other. And Rothstein still did score the power play goal. It is 3-1. But he's having some trouble getting up at first, and hopefully everything is all right. Remember, he was grabbing his wrist before. That's never a sight you like to see.
You know, but he is the captain, and he knows what was happening when he got to that spot, and still he sacrificed his body for the sake of getting the power play goal and gets an assist for his trouble on Rothstein's goal.
And Pat Cleary asking for a penalty on it because, again, if it does make contact with the head, they're very strict about those rules here. Mostly in any high school hockey, we've seen it. So he's got a good point. I mean, if you're saying the contact was the head.
Yeah, I think it was. We'd have to see it again, of course, but I think it was a bit high. But I think that's more certainly about the impact of the hit and the player who was hit.
The play just happened so fast.
Yeah.
So he had some space, tried to go to the backhand, and his head was down.
Well, that's the thing, right? You always hear about telling hockey players, and it's so hard to tell them to do that there because you're looking at the puck, trying to make a play, but your head's down in front of the net. That's a tough situation.
So Rothstein had the first goal in the game. He now has the third goal. And it'll be on the power play. Give 97 the helper. So Valley Stream playing catch up. And again, they did score first. D to D as they'll move it ahead. Slid up through the middle of the sheet. Donskoy tries to weave his way in. And he'll just move it back to his defense in Castanola. The outlet pass and hounded on the far side. Losing, second leading goal scorer on this team, real gritty player.
It's almost the exact opposite, right, of the regular season matchup.
Yeah, 1-0 lead. Well, it was 1-1 at the end of one, but 1-0 for until late in the first. And then 3 unanswered. Behind the net, Casalo. Have some trouble getting it out of their own end. Casalo plays it along the boards and a shot from the point. As Dakota Jones, who were watching him in warm-ups, he's got a good hard slap shot.
Yeah.
He's going to unleash it any chance he gets. Canavas. Down low, Castanola looking up the middle. Jones, there's a slap shot. And now it's a fluttering one that goes wide right.
Good sign here. I'm looking over to my left, and standing up is Yonkers, ready, looks like, to take his next shift.
Connolly up the middle of the ice. Gains the blue line. Moves down low, taking him out of the play. Casalo, nice job as he was sandwiched between Casalo and McPherson. Here's Nick Casalo. Down the right wing. Puts on the brakes, shoots the wrist shot, and it's a glove save by Capozzi.
Now the whistle blows. 8:37 left here in the third period. Yonkers standing on the ends of the Plainedge bench, having a conversation. Looks like with his line mate, Rothstein.
So hopefully he'll be back out there.
And we'll have a penalty here. Looks like a cross check. And I believe it will go against Plainedge.
That is exactly the call. Fletcher Fury is going to the box. So the cross-checking call with 8:22 to go. And Valley Stream trailing by a pair. They're going to call a timeout.
Yeah, some tired bodies out there for Valley Stream. This point of the game, so important for them to have some fresh legs on the ice for what is, you'd say, certainly a pivotal power play.
Well, today is Tuesday. Well, tomorrow is Wednesday, if you have a calendar.
Yes.
And that means on Wednesday nights, join my color man here, Dylan Butler, every Wednesday as he brings you around the tri-state hockey world. Morning skate, that's at 7 o'clock every Wednesday night, only on News 12 Varsity.
Yeah, we have a fun show for everyone. Our flow competition continues.
I think you might have a candidate to your left in the box.
Yeah, he'll have to get nominated, but yes, that is some serious flow. But we do have a candidate from Long Island, actually, from the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. And we have a new contest this week as well, kind of a poll for people. Best celly in the month of January throughout the tri-state, so you want to see that as well.
You might get some coaches really, really, really angry.
Why? Celebrations are good, right? You scored a goal. That's a positive.
Luckily, today is the last day of January because some of these kids, if they're hearing, oh, best celly, let's see, how ridiculous can we get? Can we pull a Timo Solani? One of my favorites is throwing it up like he's has a gun in his hand.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, hopefully no one pulls the Artem Anisimov.
Oh, that one too. That's another great one. Never forget watching 24/7 when they were following around the Rangers after that. And Sean Avery's face
looking when he came in the dressing room?
Looking at Anisimov when he came to that dressing room, just couldn't stop laughing.
We were watching that actually when we were setting up the candidates today. And the reaction, Anisimov said, "What? What I do? I load my gun."
So Valley Stream here on the power play. 30 seconds tick off immediately. They had some trouble with zone entries on their first one. Again, they are 0 for 1. McPherson with space. Here's McPherson. Drops it off. And Donskoy's shot goes right into the breadbasket of Capozzi.
Some great work by McPherson. Some nice dangles, and more importantly, I think there is he didn't try to do too much, right? He created the space, and then he had a great drop pass for Donskoy, who had the time and the space to take that shot, but it was saved.
A face-off win, and another attempt from McPherson. Off the blocker of Capozzi and sit down the ice. A minute remaining on this man advantage. And here's Donskoy, maybe their best skater.
Yeah, you want to talk about the future of Valley Stream hockey? There he is, number 7.
Nicely. Cross-ice pass, low shot, and trying to just turn and fire was Donskoy. It got blocked. Breakaway, Yonkers to the forehand, he scores! A shorty for number 97.
Well, he won't make the contest for best celly in the month of January, but what an important goal for the captain of the Red Devils. Gets a breakaway, finishes it beautifully, a shorthanded goal to put his team up 4-1.
So special teams actually playing a factor, as the last 2 goals scored were a power play goal by the Red Devils and then a shorthanded tally. Under 7 minutes to play here in the third. And still more than 30 seconds remaining on this power play. Another shorthanded attempt. Fanning on the shot is Joy. He'll miss wide right. Donskoy glides ahead. They're offside. Now they're clear. Hard shot misses wide. Jones.
Credit Viteri, by the way, with the assist.
So Viteri with his 6th helper of the season. Corralled at the blue line. Saracini, a first-year guy, really established himself as a PKer.
Power
can see
play
why.
over for Valley Stream.
So 0 for 2 on this man advantage today. Donskoy in his own end. Chips it up ahead. McPherson looks to try and center. It will be a cross-ice pass instead. Basili the shot. Loose in front. Donskoy got stopped by Canavas' stick. And now here's Connolly on a breakaway himself. Connolly all alone. Poking at it again. Second chance. They put it in. What tenacity from Jeff Connolly.
Yeah, the second effort, certainly second and third effort by Connolly there, where his first opportunity, it looked like he had it stick checked away, stayed with it though, and put away such an important goal now as Plainedge takes a 5-1 lead with 5:46 left here in the third.
The largest advantage so far for either team in the 2 games they have played. Still more than 5.5 minutes to go. Moving in on the play and then getting tripped up the other way, it's Wiltshire. Sent down deep as Goodman will try and hustle over to the puck and continue this forecheck. Connolly keeps it in right in front of the Valley Stream bench. 1 against 3. And that one comes away with the puck. Already with 2 goals tonight. Goodman move back to center point, mishandled right at the blue line by Cruz. Back in their own end is Canavois, who's going to be a future lacrosse player in college for Western Connecticut State University. I'll move it ahead.
You just feel that shorthanded goal is taking a lot of the steam right out of Valley Stream, who, even before that, I think, some tired legs for the Eagles.
Yeah, they have a very short bench.
And Cleary, of course, you mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, just wanted to roll out those full lines and have everybody contribute.
He was telling me before, the older guys get it. Quick shifts, because you never know when your name's going to be called. He might call your number right away. These aren't a minute 30 shifts. I mean, these are really, really tight shifts. And he was telling me that Yonkers, when he was a sophomore, was having a little trouble adjusting to that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's different when you're just a younger player, and that's something that some of his younger guys are still trying to learn. But now that they're older, they get it a little bit more.
Hey, Dan, look, you see it. That's not a high school hockey problem. That's an extremely talented player knowing he can make a difference problem. I mean, how many times have we seen that from the New York Islanders, right, with John Tavares? And in overtime, you know, sometimes he'll score that incredible goal, but sometimes he's on the ice a little bit too long, and long shift doesn't get back defensively. So that's not just certainly a high school hockey problem.
Haven't asked you, Mrs. Butler must be very happy in the last couple of weeks with what she's seen on the ice.
She's very demanding. She wants more.
Back out to center point. Flutters shot and goes right off the glove on the chance from Saraceno.
I know that I'm under strict orders to hurry up and get home for the dog because she's at the Islanders game.
McPherson from the goal line goes bar down. So the second goal on the board for Valley Stream. It's now 5-2 with 2:55 to play here in the third.
You like that effort by Valley Stream, just continuing to battle, and nice shot by McPherson for the goal. No quit in these Eagles.
That'll be his second of the game. Again, he did start the scoring today. Back in that first period on maybe one of the first or second shots that Capozzi has seen. Otherwise, the puck really hasn't been on his end of the ice. Shots have been getting blocked. I know they have those old Devil jerseys. It's really reminding me of maybe back in the 90s, those Devils. Rothstein. Gutierrez calling for the puck at the point. Rothstein won't give it to him. Instead, he'll just move down low and lose it. Nertney. Here comes Sean. Middle of the ice, and Dominique just couldn't handle the pass that was kind of out of his reach to begin with.
I'll tell you, though, if he was able, he's got a long reach. If he was able to get a piece of that, oh, man, wide open opportunity between the circles.
He was a travel player in the past, playing for Apple Corps, a team that his dad Rick also did coach. Rick has had plenty of years in the coaching realm. Used to coach travel for a number of years, working with the Merchant Marine Academy now. Helped bring that program up. Now starting this program, and he said even with Jamie leaving next year, you know, there's a chance he may stay on as a head coach. He'll definitely still be the club president. But they're kind of building for the future, and Jamie actually writing in his college essay, one of the last lines that he actually wrote was, "I can't wait to come back to my first Valley Stream alumni game."
There you go.
And that just shows you what it's all about. To the near wall. Here comes Yonkers. Yonkers couldn't get to the backhand. Puck trickled right off his blade. Canavas plays it off the boards down low. Joy will try and garner the rubber on the far side, but Yonkers will end up getting to the puck himself. Takes a bump, tries to sock it ahead, taken down, no call, as a minute remains now in the contest.
Yeah, a bit of a cycle in the offensive zone for the Red Devils, just trying to keep the puck, make sure Valley Stream doesn't have it.
Another stop from Capozzi. So again, their next game next week against Limbrook East Rockaway. That's on the 8th. So they'll have some time off. And that could be the deciding factor if we will see Plainedge in the Liberty Division playoffs.
Another knuckleball from the point by Casalo. 45 seconds left, third period.
So Plainedge will get back to 500 hockey with this win. Means they'll be 6-6-1. they'll be watching tomorrow night and trying to check in on what happens with Rockville Center and Friends Academy. Meanwhile, for Valley Stream, they still have their awards upcoming in the future. I want to try and hold off on this, but Rick Dominique said I can still bring it up. Donskoy actually is going to be their team MVP, by the way. He doesn't know it yet. So if he's watching, now he knows he's going to be the team MVP. Forgot to mention that earlier on in the broadcast. But he has been something special this year as just a sophomore. Here's Connolly looking for maybe the hat trick. Connolly going from the feet to the twig.
Yeah, look what we have now. Another late period face-off.
I've never really seen it like that before.
I know, third straight. I guess you can't have more than that, right?
Well, it still gives Connolly a chance maybe to win off the draw and have the hattie. Won't happen, though. As Plainedge gets that very important win tonight over Valley Stream. 5-2 the final score. And that keeps their playoff hopes alive in the next week. Welcome back to News 12 Varsity. 5-2 the final score as Plainedge defeats Valley Stream with our News 12 Varsity player of the game. He had a couple of goals today in Jeff Connolly. Well, 3 goals so far in the 2 meetings this season. Yep. Today you had the 2. Such an important game for you guys to stay in this playoff hunt. What was said in the locker room before the start of this game?
Coach pretty much just told us to keep our heads straight, no stupid penalties, and we just got to grind out.
And you guys really did grind it out. Even though they get on the board first, how do you guys respond from that goal from them?
Just make sure that we don't just go crazy. We got to keep our heads straight and just focus on the game, not worry about it.
You're the one who scored the first goal of the contest for your team. That kind of at least tied things up before going into the second period. To have that goal and to be able to come back the way you guys did, strong second frame, what did it show about this group?
Showed that we're a great group of individuals, stick together, great team.
Your second goal was very impressive. Can you take us through this entire play?
Well, it was a breakaway, and then the puck was rolling, so I couldn't make a move. I just kind of shot it on net, and I saw it in the air. I just batted it in.
For this team at this point, again, now you're going to be waiting. Now you still need to win out to get to the postseason. What would it mean to you guys to be able to play in the playoffs in this really first year of varsity?
Oh, it would be great, and I think if we do make it, we're going to have a good chance because right now we got a good head of steam going with us, considering that the last few games we've been just playing great.
Playing really good hockey lately. 2 goals today from Jeff Connolly. That's going to do it for us here at News 12 Varsity. Many thanks to our entire crew, as always, for our producer, Josh Drepsky, and my broadcast partner, Dylan Butler. I'm Dan Savarino saying thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.